Despite the immense pressure, the former world #1 was always the star of centre court at Wimbledon. But today, an altogether different psychological battle awaited at Southwark's Crown Court.
Morning, Boris. How are you feeling ahead of today?
Are you confident, Boris?
Have you got a message for your fans?
In his days of sporting greatness, they called Boris Becker Boom Boom for his powerful technique, winning Wimbledon aged 17, the youngest man to ever do so. But this afternoon, it was a judge serving the 3 times champion with a 2.5-year prison sentence, after the former player was found guilty of hiding more than £2 million worth of assets, including his Wimbledon trophies, to avoid paying his debts after being declared bankrupt in 2017. Today, the 6-time Grand Slam champion wore his Wimbledon tie, perhaps hoping it would be a good omen. But it was a result that he hadn't wanted. Today, a judge sentenced him to prison. His lawyers had argued that this whole episode had been a tragic fall from grace after a glittering career. But the judge said, although she'd taken that into account, the former tennis champion hadn't taken any responsibility and had distanced himself from his actions. He hadn't, in her words, shown any humility. The name Boris Becker now synonymous not only with sporting success but a series of big financial losses after being declared bankrupt selling sports cars and houses. Today his lawyer said Becker was left with literally nothing. And in 2002 the star narrowly missing prison after a Munich court fined the player €300,000 for tax evasion. But it was after retiring in 1999 that Becker's love life made him a staple of the tabloid front pages, largely courtesy of a paternity suit, DNA tests, then a divorce from his first wife after a brief but now infamous encounter with a Russian model in the broom cupboard of London's Nobu restaurant. As a player, Boris Becker formed a special bond with the public. He was nicknamed Britain's favourite German. The champion joked he was top of a very short list, but at his peak, the tennis champion was worth nearly 40 million.
He's a big personality. We can see that. That's what's built his brand. In some ways, a judgment such as this, which is obviously going to hurt him personally, isn't going to damage his brand. I think what's going to be interesting about the future for Boris is that it makes him a lot more interesting.
Once the face of sponsorship deals, this afternoon in court, the former champion carried a single sports bag as he headed to his cell, with his partner leaving the building, but without Boris Becker.